Sheffield, rural Herefordshire, Lancaster.
You're quite strong in central Suffolk as well, aren't you?
Yeah, we're quite strong in East Anglia generally. So it's really, I think. Sorry, but some journalists have a stereotype of the Greens that actually isn't connected to reality.
But you play into that stereotype, as Jackie has said, with this ridiculous policy of coming out of NATO. Oh, but only when the war in Ukraine is over. I mean, how do you think that is going to get you votes from sensible people who clearly see it as a balmy policy?
Well, talk me through that.
Well, no, you tell me through. It's your policy.
Well, yeah, I
mean, which came out a week before the local elections.
No, it didn't. It's been our policy for years, if not decades.
Well, no, it can't have been, because the Ukraine war wasn't happening decades ago.
No, we have a long-term policy that we don't. Basically, nuclear superpowers being pitched to one another. That mutually assured destruction model. Which
has worked for decades.
Well, has it? It hasn't stopped war in Europe.
Well, it stopped a nuclear war.
I think that nuclear threat is what is making it hard for us to make progress against Russia.
Come on. Hang on a second, Jackie. So, if you don't mind,
so just to clarify,
if you tell me that if we get rid of our nuclear weapons, that Putin is less likely to use his, you are barking mad.
So this country has signed the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. This country supports multilateral disarmament of nuclear weapons.
But you don't. You support unilateral.
And yet, what has this country done towards that multilateral disarmament? Actually, since we signed that treaty, I'm not sure I've seen the government do anything on it. And so I'd like to see the government take more action towards that. But just to be really, really clear here, this isn't a new policy, and this certainly is not a policy to come out of NATO straight away. That would clearly be a stupid idea.
But your co-leader, Adrian Ramsey, it was either this week or at the end of last week, said that your policy was to come out of NATO, but not until the Ukraine war was over. Most people would think that is just barking mad, because the Ukraine war proves that NATO is absolutely vital to our defence interests.
So, to clarify, it's not a short-term policy. We ultimately want to work towards a future where NATO is not necessary. And really interestingly, NATO's own founding documents have a clause which